So hello everyone, welcome to another video. Hope you are enjoying it. So today's video will be on Article 75, that is other provisions as to ministers. So let's get started. Article 75, that is other provisions as to ministers. So there are some provisions relating to the ministers. So let me start with the first point. First is the Prime Minister shall be appointed by the President. So always the Prime Minister is going to be appointed by the President, and the other ministers, whoever are there under the Council of Ministers, shall be appointed by the President but on advice of the Prime Minister. So only the Prime Minister, at the time of appointing Prime Minister, the President will take decision and he will appoint him. And in case of other ministers, President will take advice from the Prime Minister, or President and Prime Minister together will appoint other ministers. Second is, the ministers shall hold office during the pleasure of President. What do you mean by the pleasure of President? This term, that pleasure of President, actually came, the origin is actually that came from the concept that the pleasure of the crown. Okay, what was that? Like in England, a civil servant hold his office under the pleasure of the crown. Okay, his services can be terminated by any time by the crown without giving any reason. Like, your boss is taking any decision, you cannot tell anything, so his decision. So whatever he is telling, you have to do that, and he can remove you also without giving you any reason. So this is the concept actually. So it's actually there in England that all civil servants hold their office during the pleasure of the crown, and their service can be terminated at any time by the crown without giving any reason. That same concept was coined in India after the independence, and they have given the name that during the pleasure of President. Okay, and it deals with, actually this deals with the services under the union and the state. Okay, so here actually the Indian Constitution incorporates the common law doctrine of pleasure, and it expressly provides that all persons who are members of defense service or the civil service of the union or of all India service, they holds office during the pleasure of the President. Thirdly, the Council of Ministers shall be collectively responsible to the House of the People. So House of the People means what? Lok Sabha. Okay, so whoever people are there in the House, so Council of Ministers shall be collectively responsible to them. Next is, before a minister enters upon his office, the President shall administer to him the oath of office and the secrecy accordance to the forms set out for the purpose of the third schedule. So already we have read in the last previous videos that oath taken by the President. Similarly, whenever the ministers gets appointed or ministers enters the office, President also administer that they should take the oath. Okay, and also some secrecy will be there, some secrets or confidential things will be there which they needs to maintain, and they are going to do it for the purpose in the third schedule. It is written in the third schedule. Accordingly, all the ministers should take oath while they are entering into the office. Next is, a minister who for any period of 6 consecutive months is not a member of either House of Parliament shall at the expiration the period ceases to be a member. So whenever a ministers get appointed by the President along with Prime Ministers, or Prime Ministers gets appointed by the President, okay, and if they are holding the office for 6 consecutive months, for 6 months they became minister, but still they are not the member of the House of the Parliament. In such cases, their position or their that minister tag means they cannot be a minister anymore. Okay, so at the expiration of that 6 month or expiration of that period, they will be ceases to be a minister. So whoever are the minister, they should become the member of the House of Parliament. Lastly, the salaries and the allowances of minister shall be such as Parliament may from time to time by law determine, and until Parliament so determines shall be specified in the second schedule. So first of all, whatever salaries and allowances are going to be paid to the ministers, it is actually mentioned in the second schedule. Along with this, it is going to be decided and fixed by the Parliament from time to time. Okay, and Parliament is going to determine and is going to fix it about relating to the salaries and allowances of all the ministers.